To insert a table, just go to wherever you want the table to go. Put your cursor there and go to Insert Table. Now, before you just click it, you have the option to choose how many columns you want the table to have and how many rows. So I'm just going to kind of pick a random number here. I'll do 3 by 3. So you get a table and then you can do lots of things to change it. To move from cell to cell, you can either use the Tab key, and that allows you to bounce around kind of in order, or you can use your arrow keys to go up and down and left to right. So then you would just start typing. Heading 1, heading 2, and so on. You can also label your rows in the same way. You can format this font in the same way that you would with any other font on your document. And you can also insert or delete some of these rows and columns. If you decide once you've gotten started that you no longer actually want 3, or maybe you want one more, just put your cursor inside any of the cells and then you just go to Table, and then it'll ask you, you have these 4 different choices: insert row above, row below, column left, or column right. So if I've got this here, that's what it's referring to. If I want a column to the right of that, that's what I would click and it would add one. And what's nice is that it automatically resizes everything to fit this space. If I want to remove a column, again, I would go to Table, not Insert, but I'd go to Table and I can delete the column. Same thing for the row. Let's say I want to add a row right here. Table, Insert row below, and now I get another one. To change the sizes of the rows and columns, you just hover over and wait until your cursor turns into this little arrow tool, and you can slide this over like that. You can do it also for the row size. If you kind of mess with it too much and you make things like really uneven, there is a way that you can fix that. Say I've got these rows all sort of different sizes and I want to make them nice and even. What I can do is highlight all of them, and I'm going to leave the heading row off of this for right now. I'll go to Table and I'm going to click Distribute Rows. That is to distribute the size of the rows evenly. And now that makes them all even. I left the heading off this time just so that it would be a little smaller than the rest of them. But if I highlighted all of them, they would all be the same size. And you can do the same thing with the columns. If I make this column really small and I decide I want to make them all even again, I would just highlight them all and distribute columns, and it makes them nice and even. You can also do shading. I can shade this top row if I want to. I just highlight it and I click here. This is for background color, and I can choose a color, and that's what I can use. If I want it to be something lighter, I can go in and do a custom color. I could go into here and do custom, and that allows me to really make a lot more changes. I can move this around and, pretty much choose any color I want, and it'll be that color. There are a lot of other things that you can do with these tables, so I'm just showing you the basics. But if you go to Table and then go to Table Properties, you can see that this box gives you a lot of other options. But we're not going to get into those right now. This is just really the basics. To remove the entire table, you can just highlight the whole thing, hit Backspace, and it's gone.